Out.
My name is Pep Rosenfeld.
Yeah, I'm Greg.
And thank you for joining us here virtually via YouTube, backstage at Boom Chicago for tonight's performance.
Thanks, folks. If you are just now thinking to text me toy, and you didn't do that 5 minutes ago, this is like, what? Thanks. But I hope you guys are all watching and grab a drink. Get yourselves ready.
Yeah, we're going to go on stage in 10 minutes, but before we start, we kind of want to show you around a little bit and basically let you know how it's going to work tonight. It's a weird night for everyone, and we want to sort of give you the whole backstage feel.
So we're going to give you a tour to our drinks. I am drinking just like in Boom Chicago, a tailor-made cocktail, a cocktail that I call the Intelligent Lockdown. It's like a gin and tonic, but without the tonic.
Now, you got a couple of minutes yourselves, so before I tell you my drink, make your own drink at home. We want you drinking, and Matt proposed the following drinking game. Every time one of us touches our face, you drink. But we won't do it on purpose, obviously. Okay, my drink is Dr. Fauci's Pride. Dr. Fauci's Pride, it is a mix of bourbon and rum, and there's just a little bit of Tabasco sauce. And let me tell you this, it does not taste good. But if you want to work with Donald Trump and think about Donald Trump, you got to be able to swallow Dr. Fauci's Pride.
Yeah, Dr. Fauci's in there to swallow it.
Can I just say, after taking a sip of that drink, it makes you talk like Dr. Fauci, too. It's not good.
You might want to spit, but no. And anyway, it's not going to be that kind of show. Don't worry. Why am I commenting as Andrew?
I don't know. Greg's on the chat. Greg's on the chat.
My laptop. I'm on chat.
So if you've got something to say, say it to us on the chat. But here's the thing: we'll take your questions and comments now, and then after the show, we'll come backstage again. And we'll take your questions and comments. During the show, there'll be one spot where we ask you for suggestions.
Yeah.
Besides those spots, before the show, after the show, and at that one moment, we invite you to put your screen in full screen mode, lean back, and enjoy the show.
Yeah. By the way, I am commenting as Andrew Moskos, founder of Boom Chicago and artistic director. So anyway, Andrew, I'm not sure what you did, but now I get to comment as you. All right, so if you haven't bought a ticket yet, now would be a good chance to buy a ticket. Andrew himself thought of the ticketing menu. Obviously, you could start out with the basic price of 10 euros just for this show. Which is pretty cheap, right? And you can save up, because we got the part 2 on Thursday, part 3 on Saturday. If you're super cheapo, you can go with the €5. €5? Only €5? Yes, for the obstructed view ticket. But you are responsible for putting a plant or a coffee mug in front of your screen so you can't quite see the whole thing.
And we've talked to our good friends at Facebook and Amazon, so we can spy on you. We'll know if your view's obstructed.
Yeah. Also, if you want to shoot for the moon, you can go for the top of the line €250 ticket, which we have called Scalpers, those damn scalpers. Those bastards! Nothing is stopping you from donating $250. It's boomchicago.nl if you want to go on there. €250 would be great, but any number in between is much appreciated, helping us during this lockdown period.
And by the way, if you haven't purchased the ticket yet and you're just watching on YouTube, that's cool. We get it. Sometimes you sneak into the theater and watch for free.
Yeah.
But you can still donate down there, kind of below the image. You'll find the donate place. You can donate any number you want. You can pick any number you want. We suggest a funny number, like 69, but that's up to you.
69.
See?
It's a
Greg loves that one.
Yeah.
Look, I got to list a couple of people who have bought their tickets already. We want to honor them right now.
Oh, yeah.
Martin Gosser, who paid the owns his own home in Amsterdam rate, so thank you for that.
Well done.
Dude named Jan bought an obstructed view ticket.
Happy
Maaike
birthday, Jan.
Pols, obstructed view. Aster Dielemans, obstructed view. Bas van den Werp, obstructed view. Kuhn Bekering, obstructed view. That's a lot of Dutch names with obstructed view tickets. Like I don't want to play the stereotypes here, but Dutch people, you're not representing yourselves well with your obstructed views. This is my favorite though. Catherine Bustos. They got 2 tickets for their household. One was the quarantined household whole family ticket. Then they also got an obstructed view ticket in addition.
Wow.
Well, I don't.
How do you do that?
But you can buy whatever you want. I mean, we recommend buying more tickets than you need, obviously. But you bought the quarantined household. Why would you then buy the obstructed view? Yeah. Unless like the quarantined household ticket is like for the couple and their favorite kid, and then the obstructed view is for like the family, Harry Potter kid. he's got to like sit in the closet, under the stairs and watch, from behind his broom.
Fair enough. And by the way, yes, clearly you can heckle. You're doing that on the chat right now.
Did we get a good heckle?
I don't know. No, someone's like, oh, I can't heckle. Well, yeah. No. You just wrote it. So, hey, Peter Moskos, how you doing? Fault is here. It's great. Great. Okay.
So in a second, I want to give you guys a tour of the onstage area before we start.
Yeah.
We kind of want to make sure that you guys know that we're doing this safely. We're making sure that we adhere to the rules, that we stick to the rules. We're psyched to be able to do the show. We're psyched to be able to that you guys are watching. And that
psyched means excited.
Psyched means excited. But the Mark Rutte, the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, his rules are clear.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't so clear, but he cleared it out. It was Schrodinger's rules.
Yeah.
He both had clear rules and had no rules. The bit is, it's not that businesses have to be closed. The idea is you don't have to go broke on purpose. We're managing that all by ourselves. No, it's not true. The thing is, you just have to try and do all the work you can, possibly at home. And so we did all of our writing and rehearsing at home. I think we even have a picture of the writing and rehearsing we did in a Zoom meeting. It was a lot of Andrew and Greg and I writing and talking and going through stuff as best we could in the Zoom meeting. We're keeping a 1.5 meter distance between us backstage as well. The dressing rooms, we've got the distance set up, and every surface in this room has been wiped down and disinfected. I suspect for the first time since we moved into this building in 2013. I think it's the first time this room was cleaned. So, the silver lining in this miserable gray cloud is that finally this filthy room was cleaned.
I think in 2018 there's a little bit of, cleaning up this table.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Don't know why you would say that. Don't know what you're talking
clearly
about.
Ecstasy.
Let me say this too. Now that Greg's made a drug reference, is if you're an important business person. We're so psyched to be streaming these things, we can do digital events for you, and I promise Greg will not make cocaine references.
What?
We will do stuff that makes that uses our venue and uses the medium of video, so it's not just a watered down Zoom meeting. There, I snuck in my business pitch.
We got to wrap this up. The countdown is really going now. You have like 2.5 minutes.
I'm gonna go to the front of I'm gonna go on stage then.
Good news is I think we have 465 people currently tuned in. That's bigger than a normal.
All right, I'm out here. Look, I'm on stage. So it's kind of a sadly empty theater. I think you can see how empty it is. But even on stage, this is my side. That's Greg's side. I spit a lot when I talk, but we're not going to get our droplets mixing. That's just not going to happen today. And usually, if you're sitting in the front row, that's like a super, extra bonus when I spit on you. It's like the pate, 4DX extra ticket. But today it's, potentially deadly. So nobody's allowed in the front row. And in fact, we only have a few people actually in the theater. I just want to walk you through who we've actually got. First of all, right there, we've got Andrew Moskos, our director.
Psyched that we could get back in the theater, that we could do a streaming show. Super psyched that so many people are out there watching. I'm less psyched about the people who didn't buy a ticket, but I'm still super happy. Less psyched, but super happy that you're here. Thanks. We hope to do a good one for you.
That's great. Right next to him, and by next to, I mean 2 meters away, is Saskia Maas, the CEO of Boom Chicago, and she's just giving a friendly wave because you said you definitely don't want to talk. Excellent. Sasha Hudemacher is our musical director, and he's there. He'll be here to make music, again, safe distance away. And then, of course, on the couch, Matt and Stacy, and they're not 1.5 meters away, but they don't have to be because they're engaged, they're a couple, and they're doing the show here next week, going steady. You guys psyched for the show?
Yeah, we're super excited. We're actually here this week so that we can learn from your mistakes so that we can have a better show.
It's not all about politics,
I'd just like you to know that with Greg and I, it's also not all about the politics. We make out, too, when we're allowed to do so safely. 1 minute. I guess I'm going to go backstage in that case. 1 minute. So that's theater talk for the show's going to start in 1 minute. But before that, let's up in the booth safely hidden away is Tom Clutterbuck. Tom, are you there? That's fantastic. We've also got the Dream Streaming team from We Are Live. They are out in the next room in the bar. There they are separated with plexiglass like a salad bar. Behind them is the place where we took off our outside shoes and put on our inside shoes and changed our clothes to our inside clothes. It was like the saddest, most fearful striptease act ever at the clean clothes department out there. All right, now I'm going to go backstage. Oh, the test pattern means I should get the hell out of here. I'll see you back here. How we doing, Greg?
Yeah, I think it's basically time to start the show.
Time to start the show?
Yeah, you ready?
We'll see you guys on stage.
Live from Boom Chicago in Amsterdam. With a closed bar, we present a comedy show with 2 actors and a small crew in an empty theater. A show that totally follows Dutch government rules and 1.5 meter social distancing. This is Trump Up the Volume. Please welcome Pep Rosenfeld and Greg Shapiro.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Thank you. Thank you, folks. Thank you
Six
so much.
people cheering like 600. That's the can-do spirit
Yeah,
that
yeah.
keeps theaters going. Folks, my name is Pep.
I'm Greg.
And we're so glad that you have joined us virtually on this special occasion for this episode, this edition of Trump Up the Volume.
Yes, it is one big show with just the 2 of us guys on stage talking about one topic all night, which is the man who put the white back in White House, Donald J. Trump. The J is for genius. Thank you.
Now look, we know that Donald Trump can be a polarizing figure. A lot of people have very strong feelings about the president. I certainly do. So I just want to let everybody get that out of their system right now. At home where you are, just make some noise, let it out of your system if you don't like Donald Trump. Just make some noise at home. Oh, yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, is it working?
But here's the thing. On the internet and YouTube, it's a big place. There's room for all kinds of opinions. If you've ever read any comment section, you know that. And we want this show to be for everyone. So look, at your home, where you are, no one can judge you. Be honest. Make some noise if you freaking hate Donald Trump.
Oh.
All right, so it's a nice mix. I think we got a nice mix.
We're totally fair, and totally balanced. Okay, and now's the part of the show where I would normally say, Dutch people, make some noise. And exactly, raising hands is the typical.
Saskia literally raised her hand.
That's the way to do it. I know. And that is the same amount of noise we normally get from the Dutch half of the audience, even when it's a full theater. So well done. I don't know what that is. It's just we enjoy the show, but we want to do it quietly. I once had a Dutch woman come up to me after the show and say, I smiled very hard. Whatever works.
I have to say, Americans during this particular phase of American politics are a weird audience type, right? Because in the old days when we first got here, like 20-some years ago, we would say like any Americans in the house, and it didn't matter if there were just 2 Americans in the house, they were the loudest in the theater. It'd be like any Americans in the house, they'd be like, yeah, USA, USA. And if they had guns, they would take them out. But now it's super different. Now it's like any Americans in the house, and the Americans are like, ooh.
Wait, who wants to know?
And why do you want to know?
Am I going to get in trouble?
No, I don't know.
Let's just say I'm Canadian. I'm Canadian, okay? I'm Canadian.
In this way, by the way, Americans, I think Americans have become the new audience Germans. You know what I mean? Like, because these days you say any Germans in the house, and the Germans go nuts. Like, the Germans have officially forgotten that what it was like when people got nervous if Germans were excited in public.
Yay, World Cup, yay!
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, in the old days, we'd see any Germans in the house. There was always a table of Germans in the house, but you couldn't tell because they were like, nine, say nothing.
But there are rules. I love to follow rules.
Now you will put your hand down. Maybe if we play our cards right, they would think we are Swiss.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
But
yeah, but now here we are, and we are doing Trump Up the Volume, the social distancing edition, which works perfectly.
Well, by the way, it's also it's also closing week for Trump Up the Volume. So it's kind of a bittersweet week for us.
Yeah.
we've been doing a version of this show all the way back since the last election in 2016. And back then, that show was like, we'd make fun of Hillary, we'd make fun of Trump.
Yeah.
But then at the end, we'd be like, oh, but watch out. You guys better vote because Hillary might lose this thing. Trump might win. You never know. And it was a joke. It was supposed to be a joke. But the joke's on us because this turned out to be the longest running show at Boom Chicago. So, yeah.
But I mean, it did work out well for us because the whole time that we've been on stage, we normally stand about 1.5 meters apart. So, welcome to Trump Up the Volume Social Distancing Edition.
Yeah, we're good at it.
Yeah.
We're good at it. I still washing my hands. Some people have forgotten the hand washing.
Yeah.
I've been washing. I still wash mine.
Yeah, good point. I mean, just because we're like, self-isolating, you should wash your hands even when you're like, when in doubt, just wash your hands. And you're supposed to do it for the full 20 seconds. Are you guys doing the full 20 seconds?
doing 20
in
seconds.
America, they keep saying, sing happy birthday to you, but twice,
But twice does get the timing right. Here's what you
Yeah.
should definitely not do
Yeah.
is don't do the Dutch happy birthday song.
Yeah.
Because that if you're near any Dutch people, that doesn't end. You'll
Yeah.
wash your hands forever. You're kind of doing your hands.
Long
you're
shall
like,
you
long
live,
will you
live,
live. Long will you live. That's why I'm washing my hands. And so then you finish up. You're ready to dry them off,
Yeah. And then comes tre, viola, and then trommel, and then
Oh,
flap.
yeah, all the instruments. You better name all the instruments. I'd hate to forget a single instrument.
And
we're
hoorah, hoorah, is the coffee no
Yeah, but by now the coffee is clear, Greg. Yeah, I bet it's clear by now.
100 years live.
100 years I'll live. Yeah, that 100 years is how long the song takes.
Yeah.
By the time you're finally done with the goddamn round of Dutch songs, you're out of soap, the supermarket's out of soap, and there's a new strain of the virus because somewhere in Asia, 2 birds had sex with a monkey. I guess what I'm saying is stick to the American
Be
song.
safe,
Stick to the
but
American
be responsible. But anyway, I mean, back to Trump. Hey, look, love him or hate him, you got to admit, Trump is a game changer, and we need to appreciate that. He's a transformative figure in politics.
I mean, he's ripped up the script. All right, he's flipped the script.
He's
flipped the script.
He's ripped up the script. He does not use a script.
And by the way, there are plenty of medical professionals that would love it if he would stick to the script.
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
Oh,
President, we got the script.
Oh, there's a script. Okay, well, we'll start with the script, and then we'll see how it goes from there. He just keeps going off script. He's got all the best words. He doesn't trust the script writers, doesn't trust script, coaches. He doesn't even like experts or policy advisors of any kind. He doesn't even use recognizable English grammar. Just any time he opens his mouth, it is a nonstop thrill ride. You never know where the crazy train is going to let you off. He can start out talking about, my fellow Americans, we are living in a time of an unprecedented threat, and it's an invisible enemy. It's not my fault, by the way. And so many, it's not just me who says it. So many people. I mean, and not just any people, very smart people. Not as smart as me, obviously. You look at my brains, my uncle, MIT. So I think my genes, very strong, very good genes. We used to make genes in America. Why don't we make genes in America anymore? Hasn't completed a full sentence or thought since early 2013. It's amazing.
It is amazing, but it's hard to take your eye off it. It's like when you're driving past a car crash and you're supposed to look. You're like, I can't look, but I want to look anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what it's been for 3.5 years now. This slow motion car crash where the driver is drunk and just a little bit racist.
Yeah, man. And so, I mean, there I was also in 2016 trying to do this Trump imitation, which was not easy for me because I look nothing like him, right? I mean, I'm pretty skinny. My hands are too large. But the tie, I did do the tie. I think that's, is that about right? I think that compensates nicely. And, of course, the face. I mean, Donald Trump with the face, the way he holds his face when he speaks, this, to me, was the key to doing a Trump imitation where, he's, the way he holds his face, his eyes are never fully open, but his mouth is never, ever closed. And in this sense, can we not admit that Donald Trump is a perfect representation of stereotypical America? There's no information coming in, only information going out. America.
And I think information is
Yeah.
it's a loose definition of information. I gotta say, Greg, I do think you're mostly right about the face, but he does close his mouth sometimes. He closes his mouth when he does that Trump, Mussolini sneer, where he looks a little bit like an overweight, wealthy English person that just ate a child. And he's like,
Oh, that's the one.
Well, that's the
yeah,
one.
that's. But so, 2016, we did our show. And then, next thing you know, he's being sworn in as president. And yeah, I mean, it was surreal. I got this phone call, from the Dutch television show Zondag met Lubach. And yeah, they said, yeah, here's a script. You're going to do this script with us, and you can do your Trump voice. It was great. And yeah, we recorded it on a Saturday. It went out on a Sunday, and it became known as the Netherlands' second video. And this thing went so viral.
And by the way, this was back when it was still good if something went viral.
Yes, exactly. It went around the world. The link was sent to me by people in Australia, like in the United States. People were saying, have you seen, you should watch this video. Of all people, you would get such a kick out of this video. And I had to tell my own mother, like, Mom, that's me. That's my voice. So anyway, so now people keep asking, oh, do you think that Donald Trump has seen this video, right? Is he going to make the Netherlands second? And look, the answer is, I don't know. My spies only go so high. I don't know for sure, but I can prove this, that this Netherlands second video from the little Netherlands now has more views on YouTube than the official Donald Trump inauguration video. So, well played,
Well
Netherlands.
done. Well
Yes,
done, Netherlands.
Well done.
It's a low bar. It's a low bar for success, but
Right.
well done.
Yeah,
well done, Netherlands. Well, that was election. That was the election, and that was when we, jumped onto this, weird dystopian timeline like Back to the Future 2. And we are now at peak dystopia because, President Biff Tannen from Back to the Future is in charge during the pandemic.
And by the way, I am handling this pandemic so perfect, it's like a Ukrainian phone call. So perfect, so great. And by the way, I don't get me wrong, I have sympathy for Donald Trump. I mean, he never really asked for this much presidents to happen, this much actual on the job. Like, what are his qualifications in the first place? He was a reality TV show host for this game show, The Apprentice, where his whole job was, I give people challenges, they compete, I judge them. And now it's like, well, wait a minute. Now I have to do the challenge and then I get judged like in November. It's got to be so hard for him. Although the best reality show plot twist, can you imagine this season on The Apprentice? The judger becomes the judged. I mean, it's great for ratings, but it's got to be his worst nightmare.
I feel like it's literally everyone's worst nightmare. It's that nightmare where, like, you go to work, but then you get there and you realize, oh, no, I'm not wearing any pants. Oh, yeah. Because we're all literally living that nightmare because we're all working at home, and when we work at home, we're not wearing pants.
Right. And at least Trump has been consistent. Trump is consistent about, on The Apprentice, he's saying, you're fired. That was his catchphrase. And it's his catchphrase now that he's in the White House as well. Anyone competent at their job, you're fired. The White House Pandemic Office, he told them, you're fired. Obama also set up an office in China, the Early Virus Detection Program in Beijing. Yeah, he told them, you're fired. And now that he's been telling all these competent people, you're fired, half of America is getting told by their employer, you're fired, and no more health care. So, well done. Yeah.
With all this firing going on, I'm getting worried about Dr. Fauci. I must say it, right? Like Dr. Anthony Fauci, you guys know him. He's the director of the National Institute for Allergies and infectious diseases. Turns out allergies, not nearly as important lately. But this poor dude, like, he looked like a hostage yesterday during that press conference. Did you see that?
Oh, man.
He looked like one of those hostages where, like, he's just saying what he has to say. This is all voluntary. I am only saying things voluntarily. I do whatever I want. For example, if my eyes happen to be blinking, a Morse code message that reads, "It's too late for me, save yourselves." That is my own volition.
Man. And Dr. Fauci is amazing. And if you've ever had a chance to hear him speak, I saw Dr. Fauci speak in Amsterdam last November. That he was in the Concertgebouw, and he was talking about his track record of wonderful fights of all these since Reagan. He's been fighting HIV. He was on the front lines against SARS, MERS, Ebola. He was like front lines, hazmat suit. He's an American hero, and his message last November was measles. This was his big, if you remember one thing from this speech. Measles is the first viral outbreak he's had to deal with that had previously been eradicated, but it was viral misinformation that caused this viral outbreak. And I thought, oh, how awkward. I was like, why are you doing this speech in Amsterdam in the first place? It's like maybe that's the only place he could do it was somewhere outside of the United States because, anti-vaxxers, he's working for who again? Oh, right, the anti-vaxxer in chief, Donald Trump, who once famously tweeted, healthy young child goes to doctor, gets pumped with massive shot of many vaccines, doesn't feel good, and changes. Autism. And by the way, I hear vaccines cause measles as well.
And Mr. President, are your children vaccinated?
Are my children vaccinated? I don't know their names. I can't remember. But he knows so many things, doesn't he? I mean, and just the other day he was talking about antibiotics. These antibiotics, they're tough, but the virus is tougher. Did you know antibiotics are not effective against the virus? Did we know? Yes, we knew. Everyone knew that. Thanks, mansplainer in chief. You're the only one who did not know that.
So now this dude who his all experience was hosting a reality show, now he's got a new reality show that he's the star of. And it's the nightly press briefings about the pandemic. And unfortunately, this reality show is actually real, which he's not used to. And I mean, the stakes have never been higher. He's never dealt with anything like this. Obama made fun of him because his biggest decisions used to be whether or not to fire, Gary Busey. And now he's dealing with a pandemic. And it's a little bit frightening but it's not, because he stepped up his game.
Yeah.
He knows what the priorities are. Priority one, his ratings.
Of course, my ratings are so great. I'm number one on Facebook. I mean, no matter how bad you might feel, I'm doing great. Number one on Facebook, 8.5 million on Nielsen on a Monday night. Would have been 20,000 more, but they died of corona. They would have watched. They would have.
And you kind of want to go, dude, of course they would have watched. Everybody will watch. They're worried about whether or not they or people they love will die. When people answer the phone quick because they know it's the kidnapper, and then they try and keep them on the phone as long as they can, it ain't because they love the kidnapper.
Yeah.
So I feel like people want accurate information.
But they do. We want accurate
Right?
information. We need accurate information. We need real leadership from the White House. And yet we get, models, and I love models, and I love peeking at them at the Miss Universe. We're getting just the opposite.
You know what he is? He's like one of those magic 8-ball toys. I don't know if you've ever had one of those fortune tellers that looks like a magic 8-ball.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Trump. You shake it up, you don't know what he's going to say. In fact, he's actually worse than a magic 8-ball, because at least the magic 8-ball will sometimes say, I don't know.
Trump always know. I always know. Okay. Hydroxychloroquine. Why don't you give it a try? What have you got to lose? Okay. I mean, hey, give it a try. If you're not satisfied, your money back. He sounds like he's selling drugs on TV. If Donald Trump is going to use his press briefings, I mean, I can't do my rallies anymore. If he's going to use these briefings for selling drugs, I think at least he should follow the same rules as drug advertising on television, where they can sell you their product, but then they have to have the necessary legal text at the end of the thing, like hydroxychloroquine. What have you got to lose? You might have to lose a lot. Side effects include sudden death, maybe risk of heart attack. Consult your doctor before using. By the way, I am not a doctor. If anything, I am a shareholder in the company Sanofi that makes the hydroxychloroquine. So even if you die, there's good news. I make money.
So even with all this going on, we still don't know if he's going to get reelected or not. It could still happen. He could still win the election in November, if we have an election in November. And it's sad, but 100% true.
It's the Postal Service.
It's the
We can't rely on them.
If only they turned a profit, we could have an election. But it's easy to forget that we could have gotten rid of him, right? We could have gotten rid of him. He was impeached. And we had that trial in the Senate. What was that, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? 2.5 months ago. Right. The trial in the Senate was 2.5 months ago. It feels like it was a million years ago. It feels like it was one of those black and white movies, hey there. Where the small town lawyer, or actually the big city lawyer has to go to a small town. And he's got to prosecute an old white racist. But it's hard because the jury is made up of other old white racists. Which actually is exactly what happened in that Senate trial. That's true. But But the thing is, the Republicans in the Senate would never hold him accountable for his crimes, right? They never would hold him accountable because Republicans enforce the rules like, I don't know, what's the worst group of people for enforcing rules? I know, Dutch parents. Yeah, Dutch parents. The U.S. Senate enforces the rules like Dutch parents. And if you think that's unfair, if you're Dutch and thinking, I'm not sure that's fair, then you've obviously never gone to dinner at a restaurant where there's a Dutch family there. How do you know the family's Dutch? It's easy. That's the family where the kids are running around, doing whatever they want. Sometimes they're like doing the Fortnite loser dance while you're trying to eat. And I get it. You know, I have kids and I get it. It's tough. It's tough because when your kids are acting up, you only have so many options in front of you. You know, I mean, you can't hit them, I'm told. You can't yell at them. And I mean, what else have you got except maybe 10 years of consistency and boundaries and enforcing those boundaries? But besides that, I don't know what you've got. And all you got is leave the restaurant, right? And by the way, I have reminded families of that option from time to time. I will say hey, you know what? It's a drag, isn't it? Oh, I hate it. I've got kids, and sometimes they're in trouble. You know what I do? I leave the restaurant. I just remove myself from the restaurant. I take the kid and go. Unfortunately, it's not my kid. It's not my kid. I'm like the Democrats in Congress. I can only impeach the kid. The parents have to remove them themselves. And that's why the Republicans leave us with this in the White House.
Yeah, Trump is like, Democrats, loser. I wish I could do that dance. But anyway, no, have heart. The Democrats are not, it's not over. Anyway, Democrats in the House are still trying to have a full investigation, and we still need to find out the true answers. What did the president know?
Well, now to be fair, Greg, I think with Trump, the question was never, what did the president know? I think with Trump, the question is always, what did the president know?
Yeah. That's the gaslighting, folks. And hey, but don't forget, Trump is not the only one. You know, Trump is not the only one who's been impeached. Yeah. Bill Clinton as well. And Bill Clinton did get impeached for lying, not about stealing an election, but about feeling an erection.
Can I just say that that's 100% true? Clinton was impeached. He did lie right into the camera, talking to the American people. It wasn't quite as big a deal, a lie, but he did lie. And he was under oath. He looked right into that camera, and he kind of bit his lip. So you knew it was Bill Clinton, sincere. And he looked right in the camera and said, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And you know when he said that woman, he was thinking, and by that woman, I mean Hillary. Everyone else, hashtag Bill too.
Yeah, well. But so now it's not Bill, it's not Hillary. We got Trump in the White House yesterday. Did you see the press conference where he basically had another press conference / emotional meltdown? And you got to admit, it is great for ratings. It is a man who's losing his mind in real time. So, since it's such a great entertainment, we would like to show you our version of a Trump press conference coming up now.
Right. So now's when you should be go back to the chat, and you can message in questions for either Trump or Dr. Fauci, and they can be serious questions either about the health situation or about something else unrelated, like what happens if Iran gets nuclear weapons, or it could just be fun. What happens if Iran gets pancakes? Or whatever you want, you start thinking of your questions now.
Yes, and we have the live chat. We got Andrew's on the chat, and so send them on in. You can ask questions to the president or to Dr. Fauci.
Right, Dr. Fauci, who we have realized sounds a lot like if one of Marge Simpson's sisters was a man who was also a scientist in the mafia. And like Marge's sister, I am frequently standing next to an overweight, weirdly colored idiot who says anything he wants, whenever he wants, and who only has 3 real hairs on his head.
That would be me. I assume you're talking about me, okay, and that's great. I will be doing my own version of not just mansplaining, but Trumpsplaining, where I take any true facts that the doctor talks about and I give my own version of reality, which might be completely the opposite.
And I don't know about that. I'm sure that together, working together, myself, the president, the task force, you at home, we're going to be able to work together and defeat COVID-19.
COVID-19, she told me she was COVID-21.
All right.
Totally in the clear.
Do we have a question there, Andrew?
Yes, we have a question, which is, can the ocean spread coronavirus?
Can the ocean spread coronavirus? It's a fantastic question. Now, with decades of medical experience, let me say this. It is spread by droplets, and if the droplets get into the ocean, theoretically, if you were close to the droplet, when the droplet hit the ocean droplets, one droplet hits another droplet, boom, you got a coronavirus ocean droplet. You can surf, but it might kill you.
Okay. Do you know what it's called? It's called exponential growth. The growth, it's called exponential. That means it doubles, I think. Not a lot of people know that. Look it up.
I'm pretty sure I explained that to you, sir.
And by the way, can I just ask, who was it who sent in that question? Does the ocean cause corona?
I don't have their name anymore.
We don't. Oh, okay. All right. Because it sounds like fake news to me. Totally fake. Such a nasty question. You're so nasty for asking that question. And okay, I know what you mean. Oh, the ocean levels, they're rising. Oh, sure. And it's the polar ice, they're melting. You say iceberg, I say Titanic, straight ahead. There's no iceberg. We're fine. We're going to make it to New York faster than anybody. And you'll see, we're going to set records. It's such great records. The greatest in our history, I think.
And as I always do when he rambles like this, I'll just stand off to the side and nod like an abused wife.
Okay. Next question.
Next
Go
question.
Ahead. Yes.
The next question is coming in via Zoom.
Oh, Zoom.
Zoom.
Let's see the Zoom question. I'm a big fan of Zoom. Zoom is great because it lets people communicate, but they don't touch each other. Zoom is actually how I've been having sex with Mrs. Fauci now for years. But hello, Zoom call. Who are you and what's your question, Zoom call?
My name's Sean. I'm from my daughter's bedroom news network. My question is, Mr. Trump, you claim to have been tested for the coronavirus. Could you and the doctor walk us through your experience of that procedure?
Of testing you for the coronavirus.
All I heard was walk you through my daughter's bedroom.
The question is, I just want to make sure it's clear. The question is, can we walk you through the procedure of getting the coronavirus? Of getting a test for coronavirus.
Of President Trump being tested for the coronavirus.
And let me say, it sounds like a hostile question. That's why we've chosen someone to ask it who looks like Colonel Sanders.
I love your work, Colonel Sanders. Such very good. I've got a bucket of your chicken right here.
Very welcome.
Very great.
No finger licking, no more.
No. You can lick your own fingers, it turns out.
You're supposed to wear a mask and not lick your fingers. I will not be wearing a mask and licking my fingers.
And full disclosure, he licks my fingers sometime if he thinks I've been near the chicken. But to answer your question, Mr. Sean, Colonel Sean, the process of testing the president was a difficult process. Step one, convinced him he needs to be tested. Step two, listen to a 14-minute tirade about why he does not need to be tested. Step three, listen to Jared Kushner explain to you in very diminutive words and tones why I'm an idiot and he's a genius. Four, sneak into Trump's room when he's asleep and stick the swab up his nose. 5, have nightmares about that for the rest of my life.
I think
thank you.
That answers your question. Thank you very much for, yes, a great question.
Thank you very much, Sean. Thank you very much,
That
Sean.
is Zoom. And if you want to test, I've said before, if you want to test, you can get a test. And it is not my job to provide testing. That's not the federal government's job.
Well, I would never directly contradict the President of the United States at one of these press conferences. I will note that if you want to test, it's tough to get the test. And if you want to get the test, think of Jordan Peele's movie and get out of this country.
Next question. Go ahead.
We've got a question from someone or a group called Dancing is Living. And the question is, how are pandas involved with Mexican beer?
Well, that's a doozy.
Pandas and Mexican. Obviously, pandas are Chinese. And it's the great, great bear of China. And by the way, I would say that it is so wrong that these wet markets are getting in China. And they take a panda. Have you heard this? They take a panda and have panda fighting. Like cockfighting. Then they want to take a panda and put it against, if you really want to fight, you should take a grizzly bear, an American grizzly versus a panda bear. I would take the grizzly every time. Okay, And and people say, oh, you can't say it's China's fault. You can't call it the China virus. I call it the Chinaman virus. I think that's fine.
Hey, we have a
Sounds
very
fine.
important question here. Mr. President, this is from Aster Dieleman. Did Carol Baskin kill her husband?
Wait, Aster Dieleman, that's a Dutch name. Is that an obstructed view ticket? I'm just curious.
Can't say, sorry.
All I know is the Tiger King is, he's so great, he's so exotic, okay? I think, and by the way, and this is a woman who asked the question, should we just, I should say that I respect you for asking that question. And I think I respect so many women. And you ask anyone, and they will tell you, I respect women more than most people. You ask anyone, and they will tell you, no one respects women more than I do. No one respects women more than I do.
President Trump.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we're back!
Wait, Andrew, what was that? What was the panda question again? Because that sounded like it was lifted directly from a Trump press conference speech. It was so rambly and nonsensical.
What does a panda bear have to do with Mexican beer?
Yeah.
Indeed.
I
see.
It was a riddle. Just to have a quick break, thank you. If you have not bought a ticket yet, and some people are still texting me right now, Vincent, go to boomchicago.nl and you can buy a ticket there. It's easy. And now, again...
And you can you can even just go and click the donate thing that you can probably see right now somewhere on that YouTube page. Yeah. I'm not looking at your screen, but here's my guess. It's just below me. So look, down there, I would say subscribe and like and but really all I want you to do is, donate. So it's down there, Vincent et al.
Right, and so now the question that someone just texted me as well, do you think Trump is going to be reelected? And it could go either way. But I can tell you this, if we don't understand...
That sounded like Trump. It could go either way. What do you have to lose? It could go either way.
It's an occupational hazard, I'm telling you. But do we even understand Trump's real appeal? That is my worry, that the Democrats don't even understand that. Do you know he wrote this book, The Art of the Deal? The Art of the Deal, and he talks about it a lot. It's such a great book. It's, it's like the Bible. It's my own personal Bible, The Art of the Deal. And like the Bible, it is a book of faith because you have to work really hard to believe that he actually wrote any of that book. But this is the thing. He acts like his whole life is one big, deal. I'm a great deal maker, going to make great deals for America. And so many of his supporters are like, yes, he's a great deal. He's making great deals. Not just for himself. No, it's for us. And he leads his whole life like one big game of deal or no deal, deal of the century. And it's almost true because his life is like one big game. It's just a different game, a game that we all know because we all grew up playing the game of Monopoly. That's the game that he's all got us playing. You guys know Monopoly, right? We grew up playing Monopoly?
Yeah, of course.
Or, if you're Dutch, not Monopoly, but Monopoly, which I know because my wife is Dutch, and it's the same word, spelled the same way in both languages, but in the Nederlands is it Monopoly. And that's fine, I get it. No matter where you're from, the street names may be different, but the color scheme is always the same. You got to go around the board, make your way up to the most expensive property. In America, it's Boardwalk. In the Netherlands, it's not Boardwalk. The dark blue is Kalverstraat. It's, yes, the nicest shopping street in all of the Netherlands? Not even Amsterdam. Someone must have said, PC Hoofdstraat? Nee. Doe normaal. That's such a great Dutch example of let's just keep it real here. PC Hoofdstraat. That's got Bulgarian stuff. No, let's go with Kalverstraat. That's got a Hema. It's got an H&M. It's got a Zenos where anything can happen. So anyway, wherever you play your Monopoly, here I was teaching the game of Monopoly to my kids. And, in doing so, I realized what a messed up game this is to teach to your kids. Like most games have a finish line. First across the finish is the winner, then we'll play again. Not Monopoly. Monopoly, no. We have to keep going until there are as many losers as possible. That is the name of the game. I mean, if it's the Olympics, right, and you win the gold medal, that's good news. Yeah, mission accomplished. I'm gold, the best in the world. But not if you're playing by Monopoly rules. No. Monopoly is like, yay, I won the gold, and I need the silver, and I have to have the bronze. I have not truly won anything until you people are left with nothing. That's what we're teaching our kids.
First, two things. First of all, you encroached my space there, my friend.
Oh,
1.5.
Sorry.
Here's the thing. Greg's not reading between the lines. Greg is literally reading the lines from the rules of Monopoly when he says that. Like, here's our favorite line from the Monopoly rules. Favorite rule is, note, the game of Monopoly is more enjoyable when you avoid your own house rules, such as loaning money or preventing bankruptcies, which prolongs the game and makes it less fun for everyone. It's like, did you get that, kids? Helping poor people is against the rules. Don't do that.
Right.
No.
I mean, and this is the same kind of social commentary that I started introducing into the rules of the game. And that's when I got to hear, no, this is good for kids. It teaches kids about money. And I thought, holy flashback, I heard that when I was learning this game as a kid as well. Monopoly is good for kids. It teaches kids about money.
I'm not sure I believe that. I don't know if I think it is. It does teach kids about money. I think it teaches kids how to behave around people who don't have money. Monopoly is super clear about that. If there's someone who doesn't have money, you're supposed to point and go, ha, you're bankrupt.
Right. And that's what my kids did to me as well, because I was the first one to go bankrupt, and I'm trying to teach them. They're like, you can't even teach us you're bankrupt. Now you have to take your piece off the board. And I thought, well, now, wait a minute. If this game is to teach the kids about money, then let's take a look at my status. Because I'm not only bankrupt, I have no property. So that means I'm homeless. And I thought, if we're really teaching the kids about money, then I'm not going to take my piece off the board. Because in real life, homeless people don't just disappear. And I thought, new rule, kids, if you go bankrupt and you are homeless, you keep your piece right where you left it on the board, so that whoever ends up winning the Monopoly also ends up winning a large homeless problem. That is how we really teach the kids about money. And I mean, why not just call the game Homeless Monopoly, since that's 3/4 of the game is just trying not to land on any property. Oh, God, I'm just going to live in my car and stay on the move. Free parking sounds good. Go to jail? Great. Can I go for 2 turns? Go to jail is the closest we have in America to a solution to the homeless problem right now. And by the way, if you happen to look up Black Monopoly on Google, this is the first thing that pops up. Go to jail, go to jail, go to jail.
Oh, God.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm
God.
not making this up. It's, the prison industrial complex, right? And hey, if, Trump is selling his version of Monopoly, then that's the game I want to play. But just be honest about it. Trump Monopoly, where, you start out with $5,000, except for me, I get $1 million from my dad. It's just a loan, which I never have to pay back. I go around the board, I buy all the property, and if I go bankrupt, it's okay. I get to keep going. In fact, the more I go bankrupt, the better, so that when I land on income tax, I don't have to pay anything. If I land on my own property and it has a hotel, the government has to pay me to stay at my own hotel. And every time I pass go, I collect a new trophy wife. That is Donald Trump Monopoly. Just be honest. That's what I want to play.
Yeah.
Let us all play.
Well, I would like to play that too. I got to say, whatever you call it, whether it's Trump Monopoly, whether it's homeless Monopoly, and no matter where you play it, I don't think it teaches the kids about money, but I do think it teaches kids an important lesson about, economic status in our society, right? Monopoly's super clear about that too. Everybody knows, you look at the Monopoly board, doesn't matter what, the streets are, that on the bottom you got poor folks, on the left side of the board you got the lower middle class, top of the board, upper middle class, the right side of the board is where the wealthy folks live, and then in that lower right corner, just like you said, the dark blues, those are like the super rich folks, the 1% that we hear so much about. And I thought it would be fun, with the Monopoly board in mind, to think about where we all actually live on the Monopoly board.
Okay.
And so just, look around your house. You're at home now. You know what, color property you live in. Now, it's the Netherlands, so we can't just, ask you how much money you make. That would be, neat. Nee, don't do that. So instead, we've got an alternate. That was flawless Dutch. We've got a better method for that. We got a workaround.
Yes.
Figure out a workaround.
I mean, I just think of where we go shopping. Like I go shopping at the supermarket called Albert Heijn, and I guess that would be an upper middle class shopping experience. So let's call it the red or yellow neighborhood in Monopoly, right? I mean, if you do the shopping yourself, that's the red neighborhood. If you have your supermarket stuff delivered, let's call that yellow neighborhood. Is that fair?
I think that's fair. And then, you live in a green neighborhood. If when Greg was talking about Albert Heijn, you were like, no, Greg, I don't do my shopping at Albert Heijn. No, I do my shopping at Markt with a Q. And when I go to Markt with a Q, I don't buy coffee. No, my coffee is delivered from the Nespresso store on the PC Hoofdstraat. That's how you know you live in a green neighborhood.
And then there's Dirk van den Broek, don't forget. That's where you get the same brand names, but you pay less for them, and that's why it's the orange neighborhood. Orange for Dutch, because who doesn't like a good discounts? Yes.
And then you live in like the purple or the light blue neighborhood because you do your shopping at Aldi. And when I mentioned Nespresso, you were like, Nespresso? Who needs Nespresso? Because my Senseo still is delicious.
And I guess that leaves what? The dark brown neighborhood, which let's just call Lidl shopping. No time for coffee, just no-name energy drink. And don't forget, kids, the energy drink doesn't work unless you throw the empty can on the ground like a fucking asso.
So we all know where we live on the Monopoly board. I thought it would be fun to take a look at a wealth distribution graph in America based on the Monopoly board, because that's how I roll. So let's take a look at this graph and take a look at that graph. I mean, it's a thing of beauty. Wouldn't you say, Greg?
Yeah, and by the way, I forgot the dark blue neighborhoods. And it doesn't matter because they don't do shopping themselves. They don't come to shows like this because they're too busy beating the rest of us at the game of Monopoly, and they're doing a pretty good job.
And they're doing a great job because that graph we just put up, that's not wealth distribution in America today. Oh, no. That's wealth distribution just after World War II. And even just after World War II, I mean, of course, the rich have the most, the poor have the least, but it's a statistical curve. There's upward mobility. Everybody has something.
Yeah, and then you flash forward a couple decades, then you get it starts to look more like this graph. Yeah, the richer get richer, and the poorer not so much. But then you've got the graph from 2016, and that looks more like this one, which is no longer a curve. That is a dead end. It's a big, beautiful wall. And you know what it is? It's that moment right before the end of the game of Monopoly. When that one rich bastard is getting ready to say, ha ha, you're bankrupt. But right now, all he's telling us is, making America great again. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank
Greg
you.
Shapiro.
Thank you. So great.
Now I'm going to take you, the last thing we do today for this part of the show is I want to take you a little behind the scenes of that moment in the show. Because when Greg and I were creating the show and we got to that moment, we're like, okay, the graph's up. It looks unbelievable. It was way worse than we were expecting when we started doing the research. What's the punchline? And we were like, I don't know if there is a punchline. Neither of us thinks it's particularly funny. I mean, you look at that graph. Can we put that graph back up there? That graph is so much worse than you think it's going to be. Look at those dudes on the far left. They have so little of the wealth in America, we couldn't fit the name of the property on the property. You ask those dudes where they live, and they just be like, I don't know, Brown. So if there's no punchline, we think there's a takeaway, and the takeaway is that we don't want you to forget wealth inequality and the 1%, because that graph is way worse than you think. I mean, again, we're not socialists. It doesn't have to be a perfect, everybody's the same and all the properties are red. It doesn't have to be like that. But I mean, that graph is worse than you think. I mean, that graph is like if you've ever had a boyfriend try and talk you into anal sex. It might not be like that, actually. I'm glad Matt and Stacy liked it. But well, let's see. So you think about the graph, and on that one side, it's a lot of people, and I'm sure for them, they'd love, oh boy, give me the anal sex as much as I can, and then everybody else. Sorry, this is a terrible metaphor. I'm just gonna press forward anyway. is what your boyfriend will say. No, sorry. We'll drop that metaphor. Different metaphor. Airline travel. There you go. Remember airline travel? You see, kids, a long time ago, we used to take airplanes to visit places. Back then, coronavirus was the disease you got, a sexually transmitted disease from spring break in Mexico. So when you're on an airplane, if you're like me, like the plane, it hits that cruising speed, and you take the seatbelt off. I never do, but you sort of relax. Maybe you pull out that in-flight magazine. Oh, the Holland Herald. Oh, Toronto's a city. And you're sort of reading, you're just reading it there, and then sometimes the plane will hit that turbulence, and it's that scary turbulence, and if you're like me, you just put that magazine away, and you just, like, oh God, I hope the plane doesn't crash, that would be awful, and then it eventually calms down, and you relax, and you realize, did I really think the plane crash would be awful? Because it would be way worse than awful, right? Like a plane crash would be so much worse than you think. I mean, if a plane starts to crash, like step one, you pull out that safety card, and then you just rip that shit up. Because I promise there's nothing there for you. Oh, what's it say? When we say brace, assume the brace position. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what, while you're down there, why don't you perform a little oral sex on yourself? Because I guarantee the odds of getting anything in your mouth are better than surviving the crash. So, what else does it say here? Oh, make sure you put on your own oxygen mask before you assist others. Assist others? Well, that's funny. I thought maybe I'd use a little extra oxygen on the way because I plan to do some screaming on the way down. I mean, that plane starts going down. You got your hands on the, on the armrest. Dude next to you is like, actually, that one's mine. You're like, yeah, go to hell. We're dying. And your knuckles are white and there's sweat pouring down your face and the smell of fear's in the air. It's sweat on your forehead. You're like, sorry, that was anal sex again. That was actually for you two, but. Sorry, plane crash, terrible, yes. I have a friend who, whenever we talk about this, he's always like, you know what I think, man? I think if the plane crashes, it's like the world's longest roller coaster. And I'm like, first of all, stop smoking weed when you fly. Second of all, the plane crash should have nothing to do with a roller coaster. I mean, like, I've been on roller coasters. I've been on a lot of roller coasters, And I'm not talking about, like in the Netherlands, we've got an amusement park. And I don't mean the Efteling, the magical fairy park, where either, you go with your family and take your kids, or you go with your adult friends and take mushrooms. No, I mean Wallaby. Wallaby is one of those, amusement parks that they built on a parking lot, where like the place is, full of like those 12-year-old Dutch boys with a Bart Simpson haircut doing TikToks everywhere they go. And they got a roller coaster at that place, and it's called Goliath, with its world-famous 50-meter drop. And by world-famous, I mean that some people in Benelux have heard of it. And that roller coaster, I mean, I'll admit it, the roller coaster is scary. You go on the roller coaster, and you're like, no. And then, you buy the souvenir photograph. Or if you're Dutch, you don't buy it, you just take a picture on your phone. But that's not what a roller coaster would be like. A roller coaster is not a 50-meter drop, that ends with The plane crash is a 10,000-meter drop, and it doesn't end with It ends with This is so much worse than anal sex. And then your fiery death, and the death would be so spectacular that your next of kin, the only thing they would have of you to bury is if they purchase the souvenir photograph. So please remember the takeaway from this show, which is don't forget inequality and the 1%. Because for decades, for most of us, the economic plane has been slowly but surely crashing. And while it's been crashing, the 1% has been fucking the rest of us in the ass. And that's our show. That's our show. That's our show, part one. Pep Rosenfeld, Greg Shapiro.
Thank you, folks. This has been part one of Trump Up the Volume. Next show will be Thursday at 8 p.m. and then Saturday at 8 p.m.
Right, Thursday we're going to take on Biden, Bernie, and the Democrats. We didn't mention them tonight. We hit that Thursday.
Yeah, for sure.
You can still buy tickets, by the way, or donate. And then, of course, next week, Stacey and Matt going steady.
And we'll be in the audience for that, right? Yeah.
Say again?
Yeah, we'll be in the audience for that.
Yeah,
Giving
we'll be in
you
the audience
trouble.
for that. We'll be whooping and hollering and seeing that you did learn the lessons, and we,
Yeah.
can't. What else we want to say, Greg?
Once again, yeah, if you have not yet bought a ticket for this show, it's not too late. You can even donate money on the YouTube link, which is right down below. This show will be recorded, so you can watch it back. You can share the link and say, look what I found. Check out this show. You should tune in again on Thursday and Saturday.
Thanks to Tom. Thanks for the Dream Stream team. We are live. We're about to go backstage, where we will be happy to answer any questions or comments that you still have chat-wise.
All right.
Otherwise, we will see you Thursday. And by see you, I mean, obviously, we will not see anyone. It's video. Yeah.
Thank you,
We're
guys.
going backstage. We're going backstage. Thank you. All righty.
9 o'clock.
We are ready for the chat, but we don't have a laptop.
Thank you. Safe distance. There we go.
Andrew Moscow.
Oh, all right. This is already. Yeah, I gotta turn that off. Great. Yeah. Thank you, folks. Okay. So I'm still answering as Andrew. I see.
That's cool. That's all right.
right,
We're
let's
going
see
to
the
answer
answer here.
verbally. We're not even going to type anything. We're going to answer verbally.
I'm
So
just gonna chat publicly. Haha. As me.
Do
Yeah.
you see any stuff there?
Oh, okay, that's fine. Thank you for the funny evening on my own couch. But yeah, I know you got to go down here. So Folt says hi to Mara. Yeah. And Tamara says hi to Folt. All right, what else? Thomas de Lange, thank you as well. If you say it there, we will say it here.
That's not true. We can't say everything.
No, if you see, Jonathan says someone stole the laptop. Yeah, that was the boss. Anyway, okay. Stephanie Kanchen. Ooh, that's a Franco-German type name. Anyway, thank you for watching the funny evening. And Recep Dalgun, thank you for checking in as well. I have a new video that I posted today on my YouTube channel. So yeah,
Are you
check that out.
are you selling your videos here? I guess that's
Otisville.
That's totally allowed.
Yeah, sorry, I just realized that also went up today. Hey, Rachel, that's Ray, who says, yeah, we love you too. And,
Hey, so to Stephanie Conch, so I'm curious.
Yeah.
Well, I can't get the answer, but thank you for the fun evening on our couch. I just wonder how many of you there were. Like, I'm very curious. Like, were people watching like alone? Were you watching with more than one person? Was there anybody who
Yeah.
had the whole family there? In which case, a little bit sorry for the oral sex joke, but you can't reach.
I don't know. Do you see what was the? You can see how many people are watching now. What was the high point? 600 people, and you could just watch the numbers dropping as this is clearly not the most entertaining part.
That's all right. This is like drinks in the bar afterwards. Nobody.
retaining 50%, guys.
That is true. Yeah.
Hey, so enjoyed it from start to end. That's great. Thank you for that.
That's great.
Someone who is Ultra Mega Joy writes, that was fun. See you again tomorrow. I have to stress, you won't see us tomorrow. You'll see us Thursday.
Yeah.
And hopefully Saturday as well. Tomorrow, all you can do here is watch the old, Sinterklaas Revolution, Svartepete Revolution video.
Lucas
Please do
says,
that.
Greg Lidl is better than Aldi. Yeah, you might have a point. Was Trump responsible for Apollo 13? Anything is possible. What else? Thank you for the funny evening. Thank you.
The only reason that you know that Trump was not responsible for Apollo 13, which by the way, the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 13 accident was yesterday.
Oh,
April
wow.
13th.
Okay.
The reason you know that Trump was not responsible for that is because for him, he would never use the phrase failure is not an option. Failure is frequently an option, and then you just start over again.
He had bone spurs as well, so I think he was not directly involved. What else? What groceries am I stockpiling? Anything for making stampot, Dan Oster. There you go. And Joris asparagus.
I've been stockpiling canned beans. I've never cooked.
You're the one.
I've never been. Well, I'm not really stockpiling it, but that's my new purchase. That's my quarantine thing is cooking beans.
Yeah.
And I cook them. I'm not like Rorschach from Watchmen. That was for you, Dan.
Herm.
Nicely done.
Yeah, check it. So Joris asparagus, how you doing? And asparagus also, it's their anniversary.
Hey, there's a lot of like
asked about my
happy like
elastic
claps
leg,
and stuff,
so,
and like
yeah.
great show things and great job. And let me just say thank you so much. That's really awesome. This is somewhat more satisfying actually than. Be honest, Pep is the friend Andrew, writes Ashley Howells about, I assume about the stoner on the plane. And so it's not Andrew. I don't think you know this person, but it's a dude who used to work at. I feel like I shouldn't name names, but it's a dude who used to. I'm just going to say direct here, and then we'll let that speak for itself. But he liked weed and roller coasters.
That is great. So Ultra Mega Joy says, watching alone from my couch in Amsterdam, but chatting with friends who are watching in 3 other cities. Who knew that this medium allows you to, have basically a kind of a Zoom chat, social style.
Have you been doing like more socializing with groups of people that you don't usually see?
Oh, definitely.
Because we've had 3 game nights in the last 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah,
and
not
the prior
that much,
3
but,
months
yeah.
I had 0 game nights.
Yeah.
And we do them over Zoom, and I feel like we're learning either about how people choose to depend on each other during a crisis like this, or that the reason nobody was getting together before is because nobody wants to leave their house and put on pants and I stay home, I drink what I want, I eat what I want, and I claim I have to leave when I want. I think it's making socializing easier.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I like that.
Is this the future? Ray Me asks, can Biden beat Trump? Yes. So there's that. Main Ski Lady, how you doing? Nice to hear from you guys. Stay safe and stay sane. Right? Okay, so we got to wrap up.
Do we?
I think so. Vincent Avert says, yeah. Oh, now it's gone.
Somebody wrote, how far is 1.5 meters? That was
maybe.
Joyce Pula. And Joyce, so the answer to how far is 1.5 meters is about 5 feet. But I wonder if that was your way of saying, hey, man, I think you're too close to Greg, which I might have been.
There was some encroaching on your part as well, but
I
anyway,
encroached a little bit.
hey. Inez also says you're too close.
I'm not too close anymore.
Anyway.
I'm not too close anymore, Inez. Also, I kissed your husband on the mouth earlier.
Yeah. No, yeah. That didn't happen.
I totally didn't.
Don't worry.
I totally didn't.
I know. That's great. Anyway, great to hear from you, Sine, as well. We're taking care of Sasha. Don't worry. And right. All right. Good
Throw
show.
back some beans is a great response to my bean comment. So thank you, Dan, for that.
Oh yeah. Rightio. I'm gonna finish my gin and tonic without the tonic.
So there's just a delightful little trail of chat about this whole kiss on the mouth thing, which I can't stress enough didn't happen. But I mean, it would be fine if it did, obviously, except for the social distancing violation. I just touched my face. I touched my face twice during the show that I noticed, and I hope you guys drank when I touched my face.
Well, fair enough.
Did you touch your face?
No, I never touched my face. But no, it's almost. We did a biological experiment in high school biology class, and you have to talk about subject X, and then the students have to, the class gets to count how many times you touch your face, and afterward, as I recall from my biology teacher, fingerprints don't exist without oil from your face, your nose specifically. Your fingers don't generate oil. Yeah.
So all this practice not touching our face is making us all better criminals.
Yeah, basically. You can get away with whatever now.
Another upside.
And anyway, all right. Well, there was actually a question in here. Oh, do we think that Trump will use the coronavirus to cancel the election, postpone the election, and stay in power? You can check with a favorite source of ours, which is electoralvote.com. They have dealt with this specific question in detail over the past week or so. It's electoral-vote.com. But if you look for electoralvote.com, you'll find it. And his answer was no. It's not as easy as you might think.
I think it's way easier. And every time we say, no, you can't do that because, the Constitution's clear and society, the Supreme Court this and Constitution that, none of that matters. None of it matters. Bill Maher is right. Michael Moore is right. Trump knows no bound and no boundaries. And
look at Wisconsin. Oh, the Republicans cheated in Wisconsin to make sure that, they would close down all the polling and make sure that their candidate won in the state Supreme Court in Wisconsin. Oh, yeah, no, the Democrat won. The Republicans.
Vincent Avarts is saying another gin and tonic, Greg. Another gin and tonic on him for you, Greg. So first of all, thanks for nothing, Vincent. But we should get you that. That drink.
All right.
Get you that drink. Wasn't Trump visionary when he wanted to build the wall against the virus? Writes Tarek Alderado. Aldorado's.
A great big beautiful wall. It's going to keep out the virus.
And who's going to pay for it?
Yeah. Right. Now the ironic thing is you got Mexico, who is increasing their border protection so infected Americans can't go into Mexico. So maybe Mexico is going to end up paying for that wall.
So, we've been talking a lot about the exponential curve.
Yeah.
I expected a much more exponential drop-off of people actually sticking around right now, but it's much more of a linear drop. So thank you guys for sticking around right now.
Yeah. Anything else that we want to say to, dash or a hyphen? Dash and a hyphen are the same thing, aren't they?
I think
Slash is
or
not.
wait, maybe one of them is the longer one. There's the short one and the long one. I don't know the difference.
For me, it's right next to the plus and equals sign on my keyboard. It's just, yeah. And, yeah.
So
I call it hyphen.
So let me say this. If you dug the show tonight and you're digging this, I want to remind everybody once again to get your tickets for Going Steady next week. Matt and Stacy, I'm not going to lie, they're way funnier than we are, and you like their show better. You like their show better. I'm just telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I'm self-aware enough to say that. You shake my magic 8-ball up, and you always get honesty. No, but seriously, you can buy those tickets right now, too.
Yeah. And, I mean, look, we have been doing fairly well for, a reopening online. It's been really nice to hear people saying, "Oh, I'm going to tune in," and then they actually did.
That is pretty awesome. So thanks, you guys.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, and I think, do we have some reservations already for like Thursday, Saturday? More than nothing. So it's a reason to keep going.
It's looking great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
What? Thanks, guys. Thursday night in Dubai is sorted. Oh. Richard Dubai writes, "Thanks, guys. Thursday night in Dubai is sorted." So Richard,
Okay.
I'm glad we could make your Thursday evening already. I'm glad we could sort that already for you.
Yeah. Okay. No. Good. And when do we expect live physical shows again?
Somebody writes, "Who was there gesturing in the background? They were in the mirror." Aha! It was Andrew in the mirror. It was Andrew in the mirror, and he gestured.
Yeah.
He gestured.
I can answer as Andrew right now. It was I.
Dan Oster writes, "Close with yo." We might just do that on Saturday, Dan. So you'll have to tune in then to see whether or not we choose to close with yo on Saturday. And let me say this, Dan. If we do close with yo, I promise everyone watching will know the characters we choose to perform as in yo.
Yeah. There is a question, when do we think that live shows would resume again, live physical shows? And we don't know, honestly.
June, optimistic.
We say June.
Sitcom.
There's a new show that's getting ready for a June reopening, live physical shows here, and it's called Sitcom.
Well, it'll be a theater reopening, but it's a brand new show. They're working on it now. Again, socially safe work is what they're doing on it.
Yeah, including Matt and Stacy. And in the bargain, you also get Simon and Liz.
Alice Twemlow asks, "Can you put on that brown pleather number from the rack?"
Ooh.
Thursday. Join us Thursday, and Greg will put on the pleather number.
Actually, if
From
it
the
is, that might come up in Yo, Here We Go. I think that prop has been used quite often. Yeah. But what we're not going to do is show you the rack of the cocktails, guys. No. All right. We're not going to get into that. Anyway. All right.
We're going to go have a drink at the real bar, but we'll be separated by a safe distance, and we'll
OT?
wipe down the bar first.
Oh, that's great.
What did OT say?
OT, can we give him his mic belt back? I think I might still have it in my bag, Oates. And anyway, do we have plans to do another show? Not just Trump Up the Volume, now that that's ending. Yes, in the fall, we hope to be back with a 2020 election year show. We've already been workshopping parts of that, and some of the new stuff we wrote tonight, who knows?
Who
might
knows
make it in.
indeed. I think let's call it. Let's call it. To the
All right.
254 people, or is that just the top chat? I don't know. To the folks still on, thanks. We're going to log off. You guys enjoy yourselves. You talk amongst yourselves. And we will see you on Thursday.